Hey, Chappie, you have something today. I did not know this. I guess most of us would have not thought this, but you're telling me the second longest termed Colt in history is Adam Vinateri?
Well, he's tied for second. The only with 14 years. It's John Unitas with 17 seasons, and then Reggie Wayne, Peyton Manning, Robert Mathis, and Adam Vinateri. So the only player who's been with the team longer than 14 years is John Unitas. So, again, everything you add to Vinatieri, you think, yeah. And then his 14 years came after 10 years in New England. And I realize people say, well, he's only a kicker and all that. But I would argue that kickers are the one position you better be damn good at, because that's the one player coaches get rid of pretty doggone quick when they're not playing well. So it's perspective.
This will be his 15th year.
14th.
This will be his 14th. Okay, I got you. All right. Yeah.
So the only player who's been with the team more after 14 years is Unitas. Whenever you start throwing Unitas and Manning and even Reggie and Matt, it sort of, tells you what a player's done.
Yeah, I saw that today because a lot of us still think he was with the Pats for, but that's long since gone.
Yeah, and that's, if you really want to rile people up, you can say, and again, no matter what he does, well, I shouldn't say, he could change the narrative a bit if the Colts go to the Super Bowl and he does something miraculous, but still, people, I think, by and large, they connect Adam Vinateri to New England because that's where most of his great kicks and most of the Super Bowls were, although you had one here in 06. It's sort of like with Peyton Manning. They can throw Denver all they want and put him in a Denver uniform. Peyton Manning's a Colt. He always will be, and that's the only issue you had when players start bouncing around. Frank Gore, he's in Buffalo now. Frank Gore in Buffalo. It's great that players play as long as they want to, because again, if you can't play, teams won't keep you around. They just won't. But you sort of hate at one level to see a guy bouncing around. Jerry Rice, at the end of his career, played for 3 or 4 teams, and so you hate that. But at the same time, if I'm a player and I can play, they're going to drag me out of the building, and they're going to have to take my key fob away from me because not too many people get the chance, and you do it as long as your body says you can do it.
Yeah, see, you're a better fan than me because I don't care. Like, I don't care whether Willie Mays is in center field because to me, what you said at the end is what it is, which is simply this. If I can play, I'm playing. Big damn what some writer or somebody, fan or anybody else thinks about my legacy, or I'm playing because that's kind of the fun part of life is when you get to play, and then you got to go be an adult and do all the crap that adults have to do. I want to be in a clubhouse or a locker room. You know what I mean?
I remember when Austin Collie, who started with supposed to be a great career, and he had the concussion issues. I mean, he was flat knocked out twice that one year in Philly, and here
he got knocked out right in front of me. I watched it.
And when you talk scary, when you see the body, twitch, it was unpleasant. But after that, he wanted to play, and there were a lot of people who said, "Hey, don't play. It's not in your best interest." And that's one where how do you tell a player? Anybody, they know the risks. And Austin Carley talked to his wife, he talked to family members, and decided to play. So as long as whether you're a football, whether you're a Indy 500 driver, when you know the risks, and the risks go up with sports. I was out having Mother's Day dinner with the wife and a stepdaughter and granddaughter Sunday night, and Will Power is sitting at the table next to us, and I'm thinking, that's a guy who loves what he's doing because there's inherent risk, serious risk in what those guys do. And they continue to do it. So I don't think I've ever been one to say, hey, you need to quit because it's not good for you. In that case, it was Austin Coley's deal, and Frank Gore. He's still relatively successful, productive. I hate to see a player, you mentioned Willie Mays, and we're really dating ourselves now. I hate to see players hang on and not be the guy they used to, or even close to it. That's what I don't like. Now, again, if a guy bounces around, can still play, God love you. I don't like seeing guys hang around, and in some ways they do tarnish their reputation, and more than that, my memory of them. But again, it's their decision.
Life,
if we don't like it, too bad.
See, I love when writers tell players or media guys or anybody tells players that are big fat ass guys and eat bad. You shouldn't play football. It's unhealthy. I'm sitting there thinking, man, my stomach I'm 30 pounds overweight right now. That'd be like somebody telling me, Dan, you're not allowed to eat because you know what? You're too fat. Honest to God, I don't ever, you got to protect someone from themselves. All right, well then, quit smoking weed, drinking, or,
right.
Eating too much. I don't know.
I've always said that, and it's a very sensitive subject, but like with the concussions and the CTE, which is real. It simply is. I spent time with Jeff Farad, former Colt, and he's dealing with it.
Yeah.
My issue is now, I don't know when it happened, in 95 or 2000, before whatever date there was, players really didn't have information.
Right.
But they still knew they were running into a wall 10 times, 20 times a game. However, at some point, again, whatever year we want to put out there, they know they've got the information, and then it's their decision. I'm telling you, we've had this discussion. I talked to a player, and it was a linebacker. I can't think of his name now, or a fullback. And it was when all the concussion was going, really big. And I said, don't you worry. He said, no. He said, if I can give my family financial security, I'll spend the rest of my life in a wheelchair. And I said, you're not serious. He said, yes, I am. That's the mentality of a lot of people, not all of them. And you're seeing a few players leave early for those issues, but the vast majority understand the risks, and they're willing to take the risk. And if that's what they do, fine. My only issue then is if you do that, knowingly go in and play at this level with those risks, don't come back in 15 years and say, "Good, we'll look at the shape." I mean, that's my issue. If you know what you're doing and you accept the risks, then you accept what's going to happen later, what might happen later on. But so many players, way too many players early on had no information, and they're paying the price now. And that's a topic for another day. But I'm in no position to tell somebody that they shouldn't do something because I don't think it's good for them. Not my place.
No, I agree. Look, I am totally with you on that. We're given free will, man. But the one thing I don't like, I don't like when you, as a league, not you, but as a league,
right,
you hide the effects of your sport. Like, if I'm going to work hand in hand with you in an industry, then I want to make damn sure I'm up front with you, good and bad, about the industry. And if I'm the league and I have all the information on concussions and I hide it, that's my real problem. And if in fact we're going to take back in the day such a big stand about steroids, don't do it or don't ignore it when it helps your game with Sosa and McGuire. Just be upfront about it. Truthfully, if they told me steroids were legal, I'd be like, that's great. I don't care. What the hell do I care? I mean, I wish I could take them to feel better.
But then they do tell you whether there are side effects. But again, they've done studies, and it's been a while, but they tell these players, hey, you can take this drug and you'll win 3 MVPs and be the best ever for 5 years. And when you're 60, you're going to be, waddling around or in a wheelchair. And these players say, sign me up.
Right.
Because who really, most people don't worry about when they're 60, whether it's drugs or whether it's smoke, whatever it is, they'll worry about 60 when it's 60. Well, I'll tell you, it does get to you quickly. I mean, the time does fly. But the issue, one of the issues I have with the NFL is that they're trying to make a violent sport safer. And to me, there's only so much you can do. I mean, at some point they're going to eliminate kickoffs because if there's a more violent play in sports, I don't know what it is in a kickoff. I mean, they've sort of taken that away from the game by touchbacks and all that they've done. But football is so much like gladiators. It's built in that there's going to be violence, collision, and we always hear bigger, stronger, faster. I'm telling you, we walk around that locker room or on the practice field, these guys are huge. They're just huge, and they are quicker and faster, more, you know, and Chris Ballard talks about it. They want quicker, athletic players. Well, when you get that, you know, you're going to have players who can deliver shots and blows and all that. And I just remember seeing Dallas Clark run down the seam and just get lit up by John Lynch or Austin Collie getting hammered in Philadelphia. I'm trying to know the guy's name that blew him up as safety again. But that's part of the game. It's the bad part of the game, but that's what players are expected to do. That's why you see some players, they say, make business decisions with the alligator arms. You understand, to some level, the fan says, make the catch. And the realists say, hey, I understand what you're doing because that guy would have lit you up. So it's tough. But, you know, back to what we say, if you know the risks, whether it's football or auto racing or fly fishing, and you're okay with it, go for it. I just can't be in a position to tell you to quit being on the radio, me to quit writing, you know, Will Power or somebody to quit driving, or us and Collie to quit playing, because if you've got the info, it's your decision. It just is.
Do you think football is one? I got to run. Do you think, very, very quickly, is football safer, yes or no, right now?
No.
Is football better, yes or no, right now?
No. So they're taking parts away that's not meant to be taken away. So they're trying to make a sport safe that can't be made safe. That's kind of the bottom line.
All right. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.